Hi, this is Maren Savard. I am your EO Mentorship Chair, and I am here to give you a few tips or a shortened version of a mentorship training. I just attended a 2-hour mentorship training program, and I am summarizing it to you in 5 points. Of course, I'll give you the link to a formal training program. EO Global is coming up with 2 training sessions in November. So if this is not enough, then by all means, you are invited to have a formal training session via Zoom. Lesson number 1, point number 1 is that you are in the driver's seat. You are running the room, you are the leader. If you do not schedule the lunch meetings or the appointments or go out of your way to make it happen, it's not going to happen. The initiative and the proactiveness should come from you. Point number 2, there are 2 things that are the same as a forum and 1 thing that's different. The 2 things that are the same as a forum is that 1, there's a forum mindset. So we encourage vulnerability and authenticity, and the more you give to the mentorship program, the more you can take away. And how you show up is how much you're going to get out of it. Second is obviously a forum confidentiality is very important for trust. And third is that what's different from forum is that we actually encourage asking great questions, because a lot of things that are big aha experiences are when you're mirroring somebody else and you find things, you realize things that you didn't know, and those come up mostly when you listen and then you ask great questions after. Point number 3 is how to set it up right. So in your first meeting, my suggestion is to first get to know each other. Tell him your story and ask him about his story. And with that, it's already going to be very interesting, and there's going to be a lot of learning experiences there. The second agenda for the first meeting is to tell them your objectives, so a mentorship, I'll give you a quote here. It says, mentorship is a brain to pick, an ear to listen, and a push in the right direction. So if you want to be pushed, what direction do you want to be pushed towards? And which of these many facets in your life will actually move the needle? Oh, and before I forget, you guys have to also determine with each other how you guys both want to be contacted, because some of the YPOs may want to be contacted through the EAs. Some of them never check their emails. Their emails go through, a gatekeeper, but if it's text, they'll respond right away. Things like that. Those are little details that are important to know. Fourth point, and probably the most important, is how to squeeze out the juice in this relationship. You have a very time constraint, formal relationship with your mentor. How do you get the most out of it? So I have a few tips for that. Okay, so the first tip is to respect each other's time. As you know, at this point, the most precious resource of everybody is time. And these mentors, they're giving you their time for free, and they're not asking for anything in return. So the least we can do is respect it. So first is come on time. Second is come prepared. Third is when you're in the meeting, give them full focus. Don't be on your phone. Don't be thinking about something else. Don't say, oh, I'm sorry, I have to take this call, I have to take this text. It's like forum, put your cell phone down. And the second tip is to encourage them with appreciative feedback. Now, the mentors, their objective is to be useful and to inspire and to be a positive influence in your life. And giving them positive feedback will encourage this, obviously. Now, there's a golden nugget that I'd like to share with you that I took from the mentorship training program I just took, and it's the 5-1 ratio. So it's 5 positive feedbacks, and then you can put 1 negative feedback, and that's considered equal. So if you give one good feedback and then one negative feedback, psychologically our brains consider that, oh my God, it's all negative. But if you do 5 positive and 1 negative, they will take the negative with constructive criticism because you gave 5 positive ones. I'm not saying to be, inauthentic or anything like that, but being appreciative of them giving advice, them putting themselves out there, and be appreciative of the advice as well. And another advice would be, or another suggestion, since this is EO and you don't give advices, another suggestion is that if they do give advice and you don't agree to it, thank them for the advice and then discard it. You're not required to follow them, but at least listen and take it in. And if you don't agree, then don't agree. The third tip is to use all of the EO tools, including Gestalt, active listening, wherein for open coaching, you reflect back what you've heard to see if you understood it well, so that the other person will know you're listening and maybe even clarify or even go deeper into their story. The fourth tip I will read to you because it's hard to remember, but it's how to fail, what to not do. First is saying yes, but, because basically you're refuting advice. Don't blow off meetings, don't be late, ignore confidentiality, don't make uncomfortable situations or issues, resolve them, have clearing conversations as well. For example, if something that the mentor said insulted you or just didn't hit you right, tell them about it, and and clear the air so that you'll have a healthy relationship moving forward. Leaving the meeting saying I'll call you, and I'll come back to that, and introducing money into the relationship. Now, introducing money into the relationship makes them an investor rather than a mentor, so the relationship changes. So just notify us if that's the case, and we'll have to kind of remove you from the program, but then it's more because the relationship has changed. Now, the fifth tip that is actually small but very important is that when you actually leave the meeting, you set up the next meeting. That's the best time to set up the next. Don't leave without setting the next meeting. And the last tip is, at the wrap up, have a celebration. The mentors will not expect gifts, but me personally, I give all of my mentors gifts, and it's something that they have mentioned during the course of the conversations that they liked, and it's just something customizable and thoughtful, but it's usually wine. Also, what I've heard from other mentors is that actually what they appreciate most would be a handwritten thank you card on things that you picked up and lessons that you've learned that came from them. That would be more than enough. And in closing, I'll just put a bunch of best practices that other mentees ideas that they came up with, that they've used, that have worked well. One is that it's usually a 90-minute launch meeting, and the agenda is very similar to forum. It's you come in, there's updates in the last 30 days, and then you talk about your issues like a presentation, and then there's the Gestalt sharing, and then wrap up with your what you've learned and your action steps for the next 30 days. And then most important is set up the next meeting before you leave that meeting. Others have done walkarounds in each other's businesses. Of course, these are things that you can pick and choose, and you don't have to do them all, but it has worked for others. That's it. And I hope you have a very successful mentorship relationship with your mentor, and that you learn a lot from this mentorship program. And if you do have any questions, I'm here. as a resource for you, and you can email me or call me anytime. And good luck with everything, and yeah, hope for the best.